What's up, everyone? Welcome to a new episode of Wednesday Project Podcast, brought to you by your host, Brandon Laura. Joining me is my co-host, beautiful wife,
Jackie. Sorry, I'm trying to see if it looks good.
and joining us is a very special guest, a friend of mine. Dude, I was really surprised that you wanted to come on. Honestly, I did, never in a million years did I think, oh, you coming on or anything like that. Like, I never thought about that.
Well, I didn't even know you were doing a podcast or anything like that until Bradley mentioned it. Once it was 1 week that he was coming up, or you asked him to join, and he was doing it that Saturday, and I was like, oh, that would've been cool. So that's when I hit you up, and I asked you.
Yeah. So introduce yourself, bro, please.
So my name's Jayden Yorgesen. Yorgesen with a Y. A lot of people put a J or do something funky with it. I'm 20 years old. I've lived in Idaho Falls my whole life. I'm a real estate agent. Currently in the process of switching brokerages from Keller Williams to eXp Realty, joining the Gritter and Peterson real estate team.
Damn.
So.
And future multimillionaire.
There we go.
And future investment business partner of ours, of mine, right?
It's the plan,
It's
baby.
the plan. Dude, so we met, how long now? 2 years?
Two and a half.
2.5, something like that. We met for, 2.5, and we met in a locker room.
Yeah.
Now, we were not doing anything suspicious, just to make sure you guys know that. Although, look at him. He's handsome. We could have if he wanted to, just playing. But we met in the locker room, and we kind of clicked it off right away.
Yeah.
And that was due to we have some of the same kind of mindset around business and whatnot. And so, what was your life then? When did you? Because when I met you, you were already into real estate, quote unquote, right?
So I was in the process of taking my classes with the Idaho Falls Real Estate School, and during that time, I think it was before. I remember I just got back from serving a mission, actually.
Oh, okay.
I was only there I went to Santa Rosa, California, and I only served for about a month and a half.
Why? Did you get kicked out?
No. So I grew up in the church. I grew up LDS, and I grew up with an LDS family.
This where it gets juicy, guys. Wait for it.
I, tried my best to follow every rule, every, nook and cranny that the church, holds you accountable to. Eventually, it just was getting pushed down my throat a little bit.
Okay. Through your parents or through the church person?
My parents got divorced back in 2013.
Okay.
And I ended up living with my mom, who at that time was living with her parents.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I was living with them, and my mom was working a lot. She's a teacher for a daycare center, so she wasn't really there during the day, nor were we. We were at school, me and my sister, obviously. But so our grandparents were more, quote unquote, our parents.
Oh, okay.
And they were the ones that, love them to death and all. No hard feelings or anything, but they were the ones that kind of
pushed you into it.
Pushed us and yanked us over here a little bit when we wanted to go this way or anything like that.
Gotcha.
And my sister was having it, but I wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't, I was getting cut out of hanging out with friends or dating or anything like that.
It was just very strict.
It was very strict, and I wasn't able to be the person who I wanted to be. I felt like I was living a different life.
And you were 13?
I was, so this was between, I want to say 10 to 18, just a little under 18.
So not too long ago then.
So every year I progressed to, got a little bit more rebellious, you can say.
Yeah.
And so I personally felt like the mission for me was what I did out in spite to just please them, because it was something that they required.
Yeah. It was like a check box. I go do this mission, I come back, and then I'm done.
Pretty much. And in my family, there's only 4 grandkids and my grandparents, and so it's me, and then there's 3 other cousins that they're all girls, and they're typically not required to serve a mission.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, girls are not
So
required. Yeah.
I was the one,
You're like the golden boy.
yeah, I was the one that was holding the torch and all. And so I went out. I've done some things that weren't.
You look at me with them beautiful blue eyes, bro, and I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say, and I think I have an idea, but I don't know if I want to mention them.
Um,
Have you had sex?
yes.
There we go. See, we'll just pull the plug.
So there was a couple relationships I was in
Nice.
during that time span throughout high school, to where everyone's experimenting, everyone's just figuring them out, and
Yeah.
so obviously I was doing things that the church didn't approve, which was having sex was one of them.
I have a question before you keep going. When you were experimenting these things, right, with relationships and whatnot,
Yeah.
knowing that you were, in a sense, living two lives, right? On one side, you were going to church, trying to follow all the requirements and whatnot, or the rules. On the other side, you were, living your own life to who you are, your true self, right? Did you feel any type of shame or guilt living that lifestyle? That at night, when you were laying down, did it down on you? I'm like, damn, I'm living, this life at high school and this life on the weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt like I was a different person, and I felt guilty and ashamed of myself, especially when I went on the mission. For anyone who's listening, or for anyone who's gone to a mission and come back early due to different circumstances or stuff like me, it's hard to go out and to teach. They have these course materials like Preach My Gospel and all that, and one of their main goals is to get people to be baptized. It was hard for me to look, a non-member or even a member in the face and talk to them about things that I was even following, that I haven't even was living true to. Eventually, there was a day, my companions and I were in the car. We were heading to a dinner appointment, and you get all these feelings that you bottled up for so many years that the cap eventually just explodes.
Yeah,
and
it's like a pressure cooker.
Everything just comes flying out. So I told my companions,
I'm done with this shit.
pretty much, I was like, I can't do this. I'm like, this and this happened. I'm like, I feel horrible. I feel guilty as hell. I feel like shit. And so we pulled over, and they asked me what they wanted me to do. They wanted, I told them I wanted to call my mission president. I talked to him a little bit. I told him that, I need to go home to get this solved. I gotta be home. I gotta be with my family. I gotta be somewhere where people actually know me.
Yeah.
To help me resolve this.
What were some of those thoughts that you were thinking of when you were in that mission that just couldn't let you proceed, couldn't let you go forward? What was it that was coming into your head that you were, it got to the point where you did explode?
One of the things that I was talking about, it was a family that we were visiting, and I was talking to the mother, and it was about repentance.
Okay.
And I remember mentioning something about my mom.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And to me, my mom is probably one of the most important women in my life, besides my girlfriend. So just the thought of having my mom in my mind, and then repentance and all, I felt like I was letting her down.
Oh, okay.
Because she looked so, before I went to the mission, she's not really active as much anymore.
In the church, yeah.
And she wanted to make sure that I was going for the right reasons.
Right. Yeah. And I share some of the same feelings just because I was LDS at one point too.
Yeah.
But like you said, a lot of the process was very sped up. It was like very fast, And then the missionaries would come and teach and whatnot. And then, 4 months later, I'm baptized.
Yep.
And then 6 months, not even 6 months later, it's probably like 3 months later. Hey, Brandon, you want to go on a mission? And I'm just thinking like, I just like got done drinking, dude. Like I'm not 100% in yet. Because my point of view was like, I'm going to leave these quote unquote sins slowly and then
Yeah.
essentially work into being a full-on Mormon. And it just never got to that point because I always, I would see these kids and I'm like, I would question myself and see them and be like, okay, is this missionary really happy right now? Are they here because they really truly believe in this? Because you could tell, especially with some of the, and don't get mad, babe. You can tell, but some of like the missionaries that would come to the house, like they were very flirtatious.
Yeah.
With me, because they were girls. Like all the missionaries that I had teaching me essentially the gospel were girls, and there was like one or two that were very flirtatious, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, whoa, like I don't think you're supposed to be that friendly, with people.
Right.
And so that's when I would question and ask myself, are they even really here because they want to, or are they pressured in? Because you hear these stories about families in every religion really push their kids towards the religion more and more and more, and the kids do it just to kind of please them.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of share that feeling, and I went to a couple of dinners or appointments to teach the gospel like around town.
Right.
I would go dressed in like a more like full on dude missionary. I just didn't have the tag, and I'm sitting in there with this family, and I'm just like, they're talking about the gospel, and in my head I'm thinking, damn, I can't wait to drink tomorrow. I'm gonna see my friends. We're gonna party. I'm gonna probably smoke a little bit of weed and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing here? I'm like literally just wasting my time. Yeah. And you could tell, I don't know, but in my case, I felt almost judged by those families I went to go visit because you could kind of tell when someone's a Mormon, straightforward, Mormon. And you can tell when someone is not a straightforward Mormon that they have a double life. I for sure had my double life, I was partying and whatnot. So I was like, what am I doing here? Like this guy is judging me. I can see in his face, the judgment coming through. So that's when I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like I'm stepping away.
That was the hardest thing for me. So when I called up my mission president, I told him I want to come home and get this solved. He's like, all right, give us about a few days. We'll get your itinerary. We'll get you sent home. When I came home on a Saturday night. So obviously the next day is Sunday.
Yeah.
My bishop called me up and said, okay, I'd like to meet with you, Sunday. So I'm like, okay. I head over to our church building, and in the foyer, or I'm forgetting what it's called, the Sacrament Meeting Center.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That room.
Yeah.
As soon as I walked through those doors, obviously everybody expected me to be out in the mission.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as those doors opened,
the eyeballs.
Just the eyeballs. You could feel the assumptions hit you like a train.
Yep.
And I maybe had, like, that room was packed when I came home, and I maybe had two families that I really knew come up and give me a hug and welcome me home. Everyone else didn't even bother. Yeah. Didn't even want to come shake my hand or nothing. And they could either tell, they're like, hopefully he came for health reasons, but deep down in their mind,
you did something.
They're like, yeah, he probably had sex, or he probably did this or did that. I mean, the assumptions are just outrageous.
It's weird. Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna tell you a story. It's one of the last times I went to church. So before I stopped going, I would go to the YSL ones. And what does that stand for? Young Single.
I think it's the
YSA, Young
YSA.
Single Adult.
Yeah, YSA.
Yeah, YSA, Young Single Adults. So it's basically, do you want to explain kind of what YSA is?
YSA, well, I haven't even been, but
I went to a couple.
I got approached by two guys wanting me to come to the YSA ward. It's basically just young single adults, people who are, it doesn't matter if you are, if you served a mission or not. Mm-hmm. It's just for people our age to go around meeting
other single people,
seeing if you can get a relationship or whatnot.
Yep.
And
dude,
you meet some cool people,
but
at the same time, everything's really fast paced. I feel like with them, the one thing on their mind is marriage, especially when you come home from a mission.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you two things about YSA, and who I saw there, a buddy of ours from the gym. I'm not gonna say who. I'll tell you after though.
Okay.
But yeah, a buddy of ours from the gym. So we go to the YSA, right? And it's like this ward basically, and there's a bunch of single people. I think like the second day I went, dude, or the second time I went, this guy goes up to on the podium to speak or whatnot.
Yeah.
And he goes up and he starts talking about how he left his mission and came back, and how he was like basically scrutinized, and like his what'd you call him, the president ward or whatever from the mission.
The mission president?
The mission president, yeah, president basically like told him that he was nothing, this and that. Like basically just talked mad shit on the church.
Really?
Yeah, in front of everyone. And he started crying and everything. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing here? Like, I need to go to the gym after this. Like, it was a full-on like chaos moment. And I was like, damn, that kid probably has severe emotional damage because of what he went through. Because he was on this mission. He did something. I don't know what he did. My thing, I thought he probably like masturbated and they caught him or something. Right. And everyone in his mission, like, just, you know, threw him down the drain, basically. Like, they made him less. So he was talking about that, and he almost like made it into a political speech too. Like, he was talking about how that's not right and everything. Like, it was weird. Wow. And then he got off, dude, and it was just quiet, like silent. And then this other girl went up and talked, and no one gave a shit because everyone was thinking about the kid. Yeah. And I was thinking about the kid. I was like, where does he go from here? You know. Right. The other thing I saw a lot, dude, was that there was couples, right? And these other couples were, dude, it was the weirdest shit ever. So if me and him were sitting together, he's my girl, right? Just want to point that out.
I think it'd be the other way around.
Nah, you can't have this sexy ass Latina, dude. So this was a couple, right here, like this, right? Boy. Like this. Nice. I'm sorry if I'm making you uncomfortable, bro. But they were like this, literally, like, you've probably seen it, right? Where like the couples are literally like together, like hugging. The one thing stopping them from like full on having sex is the fact that there's people around. Right. Yeah. But they're like so, I mean, if you go in there, dude, you can just tell their hormones, they're full on.
Oh, yeah.
Full on.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, that's what I saw. It was kind of funny, though. And then I would see these other kids who were like just, you know, I saw a kid there that went to high school with me, and that fool smoked weed, raced cars, did everything that was not church appropriate. And he was there, and I was like, this kid's just here to see what's going on. But I was there for that same reason, too. Like, I was just, you know, like, they invited me. I was like, yeah, I'll go, whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, that's my experience.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I don't even know. It's weird to just... Yeah. You know, that post... I think the one thing that really sucked coming home was just the depression right after. Yeah. It was huge. I mean, you're kind of jobless for... Luckily, I was only jobless for about a week and a half, but that was still enough to do damage. I'd wake up every morning, would not have any motivation to get out of bed.
And the thing is, like, they is shining the right word? Where, like, or shun, right?
Shun, yep.
They shun you, right? Where, like, they literally, like, turn, you know, around. Mm-hmm. They give you the back. And that's... The craziest thing, dude, is that I'm not just talking about Mormon or LDS religion here. I'm talking about every religion. Almost any religion will do that, where they just, if you're not following, you know, word by word of what they teach, right, they will shun you, and they will, you know, hey, you're not part of this group. You're going to hell.
Yeah, basically. I haven't entertained any other religions or different churches to know what it's like, but you know, just my relationship with the LDS Church and all has been definitely really rocky. I still respect a lot of people who still go there. I have a lot of friends who are still part of it that are like brothers to me, family members. It's just the way that I was treated was wrong. And people, you know, like to use that against me and think that I was just like a little girl, like I was a crybaby because of it. Like I didn't own up to my mistakes. I owned up to my mistakes by coming home, making the hardest decision and getting it solved. Yeah, and the thing is too, like you said, you know, there's good people within the church. I think what Bradley pointed out in his podcast, it's kind of true, you know, where he says, you know, it's not so much the people, it's the church, the community around the church that kind of, you know, makes it a little bit more bitter. Because I have friends too, and I have people that I know that are still in the church, and they're good friends to me. They treat me well, and you know, I like them. I respect them. They respect me, and everyone goes their way, right? But I mean, when you don't do what they want you to do, essentially, you know, it's almost like you said, you know, it's disappointing more than anything, because sometimes you don't expect those people to turn on you the way they do, or treat you the way that you do, because you know.
and you probably experienced this with the religion that that you grew up with. Like people will go and be some type of way in church, any religion, right? Any religion will be some type of way, praise God, hallelujah, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then Monday comes around and they're pieces of shit. They treat
they're a
people like
different
shit.
person.
And
Absolutely.
it's like, dude, just because you go to church one day on Sunday doesn't mean that all your sins that you did 2 days before, the day before, are gone. Like,
Yep.
or that because you go to church on Sunday, that means you can treat someone like shit on Monday.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not cool, dude. So that's what I've seen a lot too. And I have had the experience per se of treating different religions,
Right.
and they all kind of have the same type of deal. It's kind of like the same thing. There's your hardcore people who ultimately believe in anything they say. This is the religion. Everyone else goes to hell. And then you have your kind of middle people who are kind of cool. Like I believe it, I follow it because I like it, spiritual, it helps me. But I also do my little wine dine here, and I drink beer here and there. They're cool. They're great people. And then you have your ultimate, just like, I'm just going, dude, because I either want to get laid by one of these girls or, my family's making me go. But later tonight, guess what? I'm going to get laid.
Yep.
And that's kind of who you'll find.
Yep.
So
That's how it is.
But let's talk about real estate, dude, because this is why I brought you in. I know we dove in there about religion and whatnot, dude. It's interesting, though, right?
It is. Yeah,
religion is something else. And I think more now, just to end it, more now people are, like, going about, like, the spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness, right? They find their spiritual life, and they kind of go towards that. And
Yeah.
that's good. Everyone finds something to do with their spiritual life, so. But real estate. So you got started in real estate when?
So I got started in real estate back in February of 2022 is actually when I got licensed. I took the classes back in April of 2021.
Okay.
Funny little story. I used to hate real estate. Didn't even want to utter the word, nothing to do with it. Hated the construction side. That's actually where my first job was. So my father owns a construction company called All Star Homes.
All Star Homes. Shout out to you guys.
He got his real estate license back in 2008 when the market crashed. And all the agents were pulling out. That was his time to go in.
Yeah.
And start doing short sales and bankruptcies and all that stuff.
So your dad made some pretty good money at that time.
He did. Yep, absolutely. That's where he got his foundation built and foot in the ground, foot in the door. And so when he started that company, every day after school, I think starting, I want to say 4th or 5th grade, I'd come clean homes after they were, finished framed and trimmed and all. I hated it. I absolutely hated it because I was away from friends. I was away from, games or whatever the activity I wanted to do that night. So I was doing that for years. And then eventually he helped me work my way up a little bit to kind of an assistant where I'd help people pick out like choices of their flooring or their paint color on their walls or tile or anything like that. And I still didn't like it. Hated it. But he had, a vision for me to get my real estate license, and I just never saw the vision.
Right.
I couldn't. Mine was, I had so many occupations flying through my head, like a dentist, a police officer.
Damn.
Anything.
Very different.
Very. To finally, back in 2018, I decided I want to be a businessman and entrepreneur. But that was just an idea just kind of scattered in my brain.
Did that idea come out of like, were you like, we had Israel, Chop It Up Israel here the other day, and he was talking about how he at first wanted to do auto body, right? But then he saw hair cutting, and that's kind of how he went. But then he saw like a video of Vic Blends, and that's kind of how what pushed him to kind of kept going. Was it the same for you where, you didn't know what to choose, right, in careers? Mm-hmm. Did you see something online where it's like, that makes sense, and that's why you chose real estate?
So,
or where did the entrepreneurial business idea come from?
It was more the entrepreneur that came first before the businessman.
Okay.
How that came to be was watching motivational speeches. It was a way for me to get out of bed. Yeah. Because I don't know, I love getting yelled at, and that was one thing that motivated me.
You heard that, girls? I mean, he has a girlfriend, but yell at him.
She's a sweetheart though.
Okay, but I believe that.
So I loved listening to all these speakers. My favorite speaker that I came to connect with was Les Brown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very powerful speaker, and I wanted to be just like him. And I didn't know how to start. I didn't know what to do. But I loved listening to his speeches, and I kind of made some of my own little speeches. But I didn't have anything to
back it up with.
I felt like I was just saying stuff just to act like a speaker.
Yeah.
And so I needed to get down to the nooks and crannies, the foundation of it, build my reputation,
of course,
my legacy.
Yep.
And so finally, I decided to jump into the real estate and take the classes. I was like, what's the worst that's going to do? The real estate classes was a month total with 2 weeks for each module. There's 2 modules. Module 1's 2 weeks. Module 2 is 2 weeks.
Were you in high school still? Or was this
no,
right off
this was right after high school.
Okay.
This was actually right after, I want to say 6 months or so right after my mission.
Oh, okay.
So I decided to jump the gun on that. And I fell in love with real estate, the history behind it, the just the whole process from, the first substantial business contact with, a customer to them being your client to the closing day. And it wasn't just, about the money. It was about getting your name out. It was about helping families. It was about helping people, first-time home buyers, get into, their home, able to help them invest, find the best deal for them to where, they could provide for their family.
When you when you decided to go into real estate, were you because the market at that point was probably rocking. It was probably the best time.
It was, I didn't pay that much attention to it at first, but it was doing pretty good back then, especially right after COVID.
Were you nervous at all jumping into that world?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, because it's not. You gotta be clear with real estate, right? And it's a commission-based career, right?
Yep,
so it's nothing's guaranteed essentially, unless you're a real estate investor.
Yep.
Then you have some type of guarantee at that point, right? So when you jumped into this, did you have how they say, plan save up 6 months of expenses and then jump into what you want to do and do that? Did you have that type of plan going into it, or were you just full on cold turkey? I'm jumping into it.
So the funny thing about me is I was cold turkey. I jumped in. I was working for, I had my dad help me at the time, so I was working with his company.
Okay.
So I was doing construction, getting paid this hourly while taking the classes and want to get licensed. The plan was to go self-employed, to go full time. And finally I got my license. Well, I passed the classes. Then came the bitch. Then came the rough part. And that is the finale, the test, your state and federal test.
How many questions is that test?
If I remember right, I can't remember right.
100?
But I do know maybe 85, 100, somewhere around there.
Damn, that's a lot of questions.
Yeah, they're usually 100.
Cool part is it's multiple choice. That right there.
That was the
made
best
me
part.
feel so much better. But
it's like the ISAT, dude.
honestly, I know that you had to add a passing score of, so for a salesperson in real estate in Idaho, it's got to be a 70%. For a broker, it's got to be 75% is the minimum passing score. So I remember taking it a couple of times. I think my fourth attempt, I passed my state. The cool part is if you pass one test and you come back in to take the other, it's just that one. You don't have to retake the whole portion. So I passed the state, and then I want to say 4 more tries later, I got my federal.
Hell yeah.
So that was the part that was really discouraging, was retaking that test, and I retook it multiple times.
That's when you had what's his name, Les Brown, in your ear all times before before the test. He was like, I need to get prepared for this.
I would pull up to the test center. It was at a Remax building down in Pocatello on Clark Street, and I'd play Les Brown, and I'm like, just scream the shit out. I'm like, just start yelling at me.
Yeah, come on, dude. So I want to ask you something real quick. So backtrack a little bit to when you were deciding between entrepreneur and businessman, and you found out Les Brown. Was there ever a point where you fell into that? What's it called? Double personality? Maybe no. When it's basically you because it gets. I'll kind of explain like this. Sorry, guys, I can't remember, but it's more so like you put on a mask, right? And you're someone who you're not, essentially, but you put it out there, huh?
Pretending.
Yeah. It's man, what's it called? God damn it, something personality. But the point is like, for example, this is what happened to me, right? I owned when I met you, I had this business that I quote unquote owned, not really. So I thought that I was like a full-on business owner, and I thought that people should listen to me because of that.
Right.
But I didn't have the success to back me up.
Right.
But I walked around with my head high and that confidence essentially. And once that I left the business, that kind of went away.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if I'm explaining myself to fully.
I'm kind of getting your gist a little bit.
I can't fucking remember what it's called. God damn it. Personality. It's something personality, but anyways, we'll move forward. If it comes, I'll ask you. God damn it. I'm so pissed. Fuck. Whatever. Okay, so you pass your test.
Right.
Now you're in a position where you're kind of floating in the air, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pass with you being just a salesman?
So it's a salesperson. Yeah.
How do you decide where to go? I mean, there's so many real estate brokerage. How do you call them? Brokerages.
Brokerages. Yep.
Brokerages, whatever, around here. How do you decide which one is the fit? And then also, how do you not go on your own to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be an independent salesman, because you can do that, right?
Yeah.
So where did you go from there?
So when I first got licensed, I was basically just going to follow in my father's footsteps.
Okay.
So he was brokered with Coldwell Banker Tomlinson at the time.
Okay.
They're kind of over. Well, their office was over by the river. I don't know if it's still there anymore.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right next to the pizza place?
I think so.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah.
So anyways, he was brokered with them, and I went to a few of their meetings, introductions, kind of did some training. And, at this time, I was following him. I wasn't really doing what was in my best interest.
Yep.
So I was following him wherever he went. He left Coldwell Banker, I don't know what the circumstances were, but he left. He went and joined KW, Keller Williams. So I went with him, got put on board. He has his broker's license, so he started a team, just me and him.
Okay, yeah.
So I got on board with that. I kind of helped him with a few listings, so I was a co-lister. I never actually got my own listing.
And you're not getting paid for any of this, right? This is all based on whether you get a sell or not?
Yep, this is all based on a sell.
Jesus,
And
that's a lot of work.
Closing day, that's, your commission. This is all commission based. And so I was a co-lister with him on about 3 homes. And so I got a little bit of commission out of that.
How much? You don't have to give me specific numbers, but just like around,
What those 3 came to be around, it was between...
You can do a little bit less. You don't have to do the full amount.
Let's say it was less than 5,000.
It's not bad.
It is bad, actually. For anyone who's a real estate agent out there, I got scammed. I got ripped.
Really?
I did.
Oh shit.
We're
going to talk about that then.
Where they say, doing business with family isn't really a good thing.
Correct.
I can agree with that statement.
Yep.
So that's when I decided I have to get out on my own.
So at that point, go on your own, dude. And that's with any other business partner that you have. If someone's scamming you, dip, leave. So you, at that point, you're like, I'm done. You leave, right? And that's when you go with your X brokerage that you,
So
what happens after that?
So before that, I actually just helped my grandparents into listing their home over on Stonewood Circle, which is across from Hillcrest High School.
Okay, yeah.
And I listed that one completely on my own. I was still with KW and I was still with my dad's team at the time. And he was trying to creep in a little bit,
Come on, son, let me help you out.
to get in there. But I wanted this strictly to be me. I
Right.
wanted to do the work. And it was hard. But at the end of the day, it was, I felt good about the work I did. I was excited because I knew that this was the career I wanted to pursue.
Yep.
And I wanted to go even further.
Did you sell the home?
Yeah, so we sold the home. We listed back in January I want to say around the 12th or maybe a little bit earlier. We had some people out of state come and look at it. I think they were from Colorado, and they put an offer on it. And I'm not going to get into too many details, but the offer ended up falling through.
Damn it.
And I felt bad for my grandparents
Yep.
because they were in the process still are of having a new construction home being built. So that's one of the huge things is, another challenging thing as a realtor is juggling that time frame.
Yeah. Because that happens a lot, right? I mean, and I've seen it with multiple real estate agents where they just have a really difficult time between the seller and the buyer, right? And it's like they can't get into a damn deal, And maybe it's just skill, maybe it's just communication skills or whatever. But to me, it seems that the person who's selling it and the person who's buying it can't come to a number, and it's usually off between 30 to 50K. That's between off, maybe.
Yeah, there's some transactions like that, but it's just you have people who get into this huge counter offer warfare, and it's just it's there's so many things that play into it. Communication, just the agent, just whatever it is.
Because does the buyer have an agent of themselves?
Yeah, so it's
how does it work?
So you got your listing agent, then you got your selling agent who is representing the buyer. At this time, I was the listing. So my grandparents' home, I was the listing agent. I put the home on our different MLS services.
Yeah, on the market, right? And then you had the agent from the buyer reach out to you and say, "Hey, we're interested."
Yeah, because he was representing. At the time, that first offer it was a he, so he was representing them. But that offer fell through. We relisted it back on the market, and we were keeping our fingers crossed. I advertised the shit out of it, and eventually, I don't even think it was a week, maybe 3 or 4 days, we got another showing.
Oh yeah!
And they loved it. They put in an offer, and that one went smooth. It went good.
Now, did you make a pretty good commission off that?
So that one I got 100% of the commission.
Yeah.
And I felt good about it. And so, because it was my work, it was my effort, my client. So that's where it led to me wanting to jumpstart and go self-employed and be, on my own. And that's when, not officially on my own, but with a team and a different brokerage. So as of right now, currently transferring over to EXP Realty.
Okay. So I want to ask you this because there's so many different, if we look at it from a business standpoint, right? You have Keller Williams or EXP, right? Which is, what are they essentially? The hub?
They're the main brokerage. There were different teams or underlined from or work under them.
And then under them is like the one you're joining, Grinder and Peterson?
Grinder and Peterson, yeah.
Grinder and Peterson. And so you work for them. What's the connection between those two? Does Keller Williams pass off like contact logs or what is, how do they work together? Because why can't you just, do you need Keller Williams or an XP type of company to get into the real estate market?
That's a good question. You need a main, your head. I know that there's a word for it. I just can't think of it. So that main brokerage, Keller Williams, you got to have that in order to have multiple teams working under them, because each brokerage can have a different different split commission, different rules, different different splits, different
Yeah.
everything.
Because Keller Williams gets a percentage off what the brokerage makes, right?
Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's closing day. A couple days later, you get a check cut. The commission is depending on your brokerage, whether you have an 80-20 split or a 50-50, 70-30, whatever it is. At this time with KW, I had an 80-20. So 20% would go to them, 80% would come to me, and then a few, little fees here and there. But at that time, if I had a co-lister with me,
You had to pay them.
I would have to, whether between me and him or me and her, whatever we decide, 50-50, 45-55, whatever it is, then we would split that check.
Okay.
And the commission would just get a little bit smaller and smaller from there. But, you'd still make money at the end of the day.
Yeah. So what do you think is a struggle, dude? Because nowadays real estate is so popular. I don't know if it's ever been this popular, honestly. But right now real estate is just immense, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone wants to get into it. Everyone thinks it's easy to get into it. I've met with a couple real estate agents that takes years to make some type of money. Dude, I don't know. I can't say too much detail. I met this person, dude, who got into real estate at a very older age,
Right.
half a century is what we're talking about. And they haven't made any money from what I know. And maybe they did. Maybe they have some commission. But from the times that we met with that person, they were having a very, as you can tell, I'm not trying to use any, he or she. They were struggling a lot with just selling. They couldn't get the damn ink on the paper. So why do you think it is so hard for people now to get into real estate? And why do you think so many people want to get into real estate now? Is it the easy money? Quote unquote?
It's not so really easy money. It's hard to get it. Well, no, it's not really hard. Real estate is you get what you give. You get what you put in. The more, you get up and you grind and you get your ass off the bed and you work hard, no doubt in my mind, you'll get that check at the end of 30 days or every 2 weeks or what it is. It's not that difficult to.
Sorry, Rain sponsored us.
It's honestly for me the only hard part was just the process of getting the license, and I did that to myself because I would push off some of the studying, or retaking the test, or just not being dialed in or really focused. That was hard for me, and so what I've seen is I feel like everything's looking good. Things are going to be better in the next couple of months and years. Mm-hmm. When there's a will, there's a way, and agents are finding that way. They're finding a way to close the transactions and to secure their future, and that's what's important. And so I feel like anyone who's wanting to do get out and do real estate, to do it.
Yeah.
It might be discouraging when you lose, an offer, or if you lose a client, or the market may look a little shabby or whatever it is, or interest rates are high or whatever, but you just got to work around it, honestly. And that, I think, is the most challenging part is not
finding solutions.
It's not really going in the straight and narrow path that, following all these requirements and everything. Yep. But just get out of your comfort zone and just wiggle. Find any way to close a transaction, obviously to respect your client, your fiduciary responsibilities, and just to make it a successful transaction at the end of the closing.
What makes a good agent? And what makes a bad agent?
Still trying to figure that out to this day, actually.
Okay, that's okay. Hey, that means you're learning, bro.
There really isn't. There's always you start off as a good agent. There's always good agents. The only bad agent is just make sure that you are in contact with your client. I've seen a lot of clients who their agent that's representing them does not keep in touch with them.
Wow.
Whether it's scheduling inspections, sending in offers, time of the essence is a huge important thing when you get into real estate or construction. Honestly, that's just the only bad part is communication. If you don't have it, you will not be a successful agent. And if you don't put in the work, you won't be successful either. Or, at the end of the day, it's just, you won't be a bad agent. You just
Won't be successful.
You won't be successful, and you really shouldn't consider yourself an agent.
Wow.
Because an agent, what I think makes a good agent is they get up in the morning, they grind, they get the sale, they call, and they call.
Mm-hmm.
They, do open homes. They solicit their name, their brokerage, whoever they're licensed with, and they just work. I mean, honestly, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not a Monday through Friday. I mean, it is, but it's an everyday thing.
Right.
I mean,
Are you looking at the market every day?
I try to regularly. It's looking good.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
You promise?
We're gonna make it, baby. We're gonna make it.
What do you what's the interest rate right now?
That's a good question. I haven't looked in a couple days. I think the last time I checked,
5?
I think we're in the 6.
Oh God, that's a lot.
So
What do you there's a lot going on around the world right now, right?
yeah.
And what do you think is turning people off from buying right now? Is it everything going around the world, or is it just that we're just in a slow period? We're going through kind of a drain. We're kind of just slowly going through things. What do you think it is?
That's a good question. There are people out there who are buying. I feel like this spring, summer will be a big push. I feel like people are just waiting for that warm weather.
I think so too.
You got a lot of it maybe slows down just a little bit during the winter, but you still got people who are ready to move and who are wanting to get out. Mm-hmm. I don't know so much if what's going on around the world is affecting buyers or sellers. That's a really good question.
Yep.
My advice is just don't let it affect you. I mean,
100%. That's like saying, if things go to shit, right, the market crashes or whatnot, which can happen. It's not you can't just stop living your life.
Yeah.
You gotta still feed your family. You gotta feed yourself. If you have kids, you have to feed your kid. I mean, you have to figure a way out.
What I live by is, if you are able to wake up every morning and still breathe, God's giving you another chance. He's giving you another opportunity. You're not dead yet. The end of the world's not here. Keep going. Like, don't get scared by whatever the media is showing you or whatever you hear. Just, as long as you have you or your family, wife, girlfriend, whoever it is, husband, whatever, health, just go out there, and get the job done and whatever your passion is.
So I have a story for you, right? And I want you to let me know if you think it's the agent or if it's the person's bad luck or whatever, right?
Okay.
This person that I know who's close to me has been trying to buy a home for the past maybe year now.
Okay.
Has made multiple offers, right? Let's say their budget is $250K. Reasonable,
Okay.
right? They have put multiple offers to different homes. I mean, they just put an offer Monday, and this other person already got the offer. This other person sold the house already by the time she put the offer in. So, in my point of view, I'm like, you've been through 3 different agents, right? Or 2 different agents, something like that, and they haven't been able to get you a home. 2 or 3 people. Is it the person who has a bad luck who just can't get a home for that budget that she has? Or is it the agent that's not fighting hard enough to find a home that is within that budget, that is to her, to what she wants, you know, to the size perhaps or the area.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
You know, that's a good question. I feel like there's so many things without knowing the true detail. You know, I'm not saying what you're saying is false, but the exact detail of the story, or hearing it from that agent or that person, you know, both sides.
Yep.
There are so many things that can come and counter with that. You know, it's not like I can instantly be like, that's a bad agent. You
Yeah,
know, that's
right.
the agent's fault. You know, I got to give it, you know.
I think it's. I'll tell you what I think it is.
Yeah, go for it.
I think one, it's the down payment that they're asking. I mean, they're asking for 60, 70K of down payment.
Okay.
And to have that in cash is ridiculous. It's a lot of, especially right now. I mean, dude, you have to be at least a multi-millionaire to have that in cash. So to have that in cash, it's hard.
Right.
The other thing I think it is that maybe the person's too picky with the type of home that they want, right?
Yeah.
Too many rooms, too many fucking, you know, the year it was built.
You know,
That's a big thing, right? You know, if it's built in 1940, I don't want that.
Yep.
It's World War II, dude. I don't want that, you know? But then I also think it could be the agent that is maybe not communicating it fast enough with the person who's selling the house. Hey, here's this offer. Or the agent's not being effective with their communicating, you know, whether it's with the person who's trying to buy the home or the seller.
Right.
So I think there's, like you said, multiple parts.
And that could very well be one. One of the things that, you know, I've seen lately and recently in the last year or so is, so you mentioned that somebody already, the agent, he or she, they already sold the home when, you know, your friend put in that offer. Has that happened? Do you know if that happened the last?
Yeah,
couple
it
of
happened
times?
with 2 houses.
Okay, so somebody they already went under contract with somebody else.
Yeah. So let's say this is the scenario, right? This person goes, sees the home, likes it, tells the agent, her agent, hey, I'll send my offer.
Put in the offer, yeah.
The agent says, okay, we'll send the offer in. You know, the agent comes back and says, we're pending on it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, agent comes back, the offer already sold, or the house already sold, already went under contract through this or whatever, you know, to the next house. And that's happened, you know, 2-3 times.
One of the things that I really think could be it is we have a lot of out-of-state buyers, especially Texas or California.
Yeah.
They sell their home and they come over here, and you know, one of the big thing is a cash offer. Sometimes they go 30 or 50 grand more than asking price.
Jesus Christ.
And
That commission must be nice.
and it's just, you know, that's just some of the things that I've personally seen. And so that's could have what it been is when the seller looked at the offer, they're like, holy shit, let's take that.
Yeah.
You know, they could have saw your friend's offer.
Yep.
You know, say it was a $275,000 offer that your friend put in. This guy has a $350,000 offer.
I mean, to each its own, right? You make your money.
Exactly. The other thing is, you know, it could be investors just coming in for investment property or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, and you have, you know, you clarified. There's just so many things that could play in.
What do you think about the culture in real estate right now, where I know 2 different types of people, right? They're same industry, real estate, but they're very different in the sense of how they present themselves. One can be wearing sneakers, Jordans, fucking flannel, and looks like literally like the person works at fucking Journeys or Zoomies,
Yep.
right? The other person, there's 3 actually. The other person wears, you know, a polo with the name of the company that he works for, the brokerage, right? Your little, you know, tacky fucking golf pants,
Yep.
and that's kind of how they go about. Or you have the person who's like all full-in business person, suit and tie. You know, I'm Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you, and what do you think about those cultures?
You know, that's a good question. I'm more, if anything, I'd be a mixture of the, you know, the suit and the tie,
Okay.
with a few days of, well, I shouldn't say a few days, most days, like the sneakers and,
Flannel.
well, I don't know about a flannel. I maybe switch it up a bit. You know, you got a polo, and then you maybe got some nice Jordans or Nikes or whatever it is. One of the things that I think is, well, for me, it's just to be humble about it, you know. You know, I'm not calling anyone out or anything like that.
Oh, I'm not either, by the way.
But I know a few who, you know, they like to dress like they're making money.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, you're like, you know, are you wearing your whole paycheck, or is like, did you put some of that in savings?
That's good. Yeah.
It's just you just be humble about it. I mean, yeah, your appearance can reflect the person who you are, honestly, but like, you know, I can have this suit and tie, and I can still be a shitty agent at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think what a lot of it is, a lot of it comes down to your personality.
Yeah.
And what you put out there, right? Well, she's laughing at something. But it's that, right? Where it's like who you come out as.
Yep.
And if you're wearing a suit and you come out as a insecure person who can barely even say hi to their buyer, it's like, dude, what are you doing, right? But if you come out as a fucking sneakers and Jordans and whatnot, and you come out as like, hi, I'm Brandon. You like the home? It's a nice ceilings, right? It's beautiful. Do you like it?
Love it.
Want to put an offer in? And you know, it's like, what? That's fucking weird, dude. You know, like, be yourself, essentially, I think, you know?
That's the biggest thing in real estate is when it comes to real estate, you know, don't beat yourself up. Just work hard, love what you do, talk to your clients, meet everyone, just treat everyone with respect, you know? Whether you got a client bitching at you over the phone or someone praising you, just treat them like they're your brother or sister. I mean, just love them.
Yeah.
You know, there's just so much just drama and just bullshit going around in this world that, you know, just pick them up, just help them. I mean, you are literally putting them and their family into a home or helping them sell their home to get into something better. Like that stuff you got to take seriously.
Yeah. What do you think about real estate agents using social media as their portfolio, as kind of like their
Way to market.
way to market themselves? What do you think about that?
I love it. Absolutely love it. That is one way, especially with, you know, young first-time home buyers and families, etc., are, you know, on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or Twitter or Snapchat, whatever it is. If you're using it appropriately to solicit yourself as an agent and willing to help, you know, buy, sell, and invest, then absolutely go for it. You know, as long as you don't abuse it. I actually just came from a little training seminar with the new team over at Title One. I can't remember his name, but he's an investor out from Denver, Colorado, I think is his hometown, and he spoke a lot about, you know, just how social media kind of gets to us. How, you know, you wake up, and I've been guilty of this. You wake up, you make your breakfast, and then you're ready to hit the day, but you sit on the couch and you'll look through emails, you'll look through Facebook for maybe a good 5 minutes, and then you'll keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and then you have an hour and a half just gone. When you could have closed
Tell me what I
the
did
cell.
this morning, dude. Ask me what I did this morning.
What did you do this morning?
That, dude. It's fucking shit. I regret it because I was supposed to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the gym. Instead, I lay on the couch and was just scrolling on fucking Instagram.
Yep.
For like 2 hours, huh? And I was like, after that, when I called you, and I went to go picked up my godfather and got back, I was just thinking, what the fuck did I just do with my morning?
Yeah.
It's shitty because they'll put you into, if you're a person who is very active, they'll put you into that mindset of like, dude, what are you doing with your life? Mm-hmm. And that's what I thought about. I was like, what did I just do? I just wasted up half a day.
And I've had many mornings just like that. And I think the part that sucks is some people let that become the reality and become like the everyday thing. Yeah. Just because it happens, you know, maybe once or twice out of the week, just take some tweaks, you know, tweak it up, switch it, and just, you know, go back to the grind, go back to what you're originally doing, whether it's going to the gym in the morning, waking up, or eating breakfast, heading to the office, whatever it is. Just Just start it for a few days. It'll become a habit. Just
Yeah.
keep going.
Do you think you mentioned something about social media getting to real estate agents, right? Getting to their head essentially, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's real estate agents out there that they use social media as a bragging platform instead of more so like a helping or showing the portfolio essentially? Do you think they use it more as like, yeah, this is who I am. Yeah, I've made this amount of money, and they put it in their bio. Let's say $5 million in sales in their bio, and then they whatever.
That's a good question. I haven't seen anything like that to where they brag about commissions or how much they've made.
Hell yeah.
Or really bragging how many transactions they closed. If anything, maybe the closest would be like, oh, this is the second one this month.
Yeah.
Or, I feel like they use that as a way to show people, don't be scared. There are people willing to buy and willing to sell out there. Like, don't let that stop you. Don't be scared. I think they're more trying
so
to use that to get people to list it and buy. Not so much as bragging, but that's a good question. There could be agents out there who do that. It just goes back, like I said, just stay humble. I mean, that's what makes a good agent. Is just
it'll make you the most money, I think.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, in my personal opinion, why would I go with someone who's bragging about how much they made, in sales and whatnot? To me, it's like, do you know how to sell homes? Are you a good agent? Are you humble?
Yep.
Are you not going to be talking to me in my ear as you're showing me this house, how much you've made in the past month? Because if I'm working 9 to 5 and you're making over here 6 figures, I'm gonna be like, damn, like I wish I had those 6 figures in my bank account right now.
Yeah.
Just the way I see it, I don't know. What's our time?
An hour.
Damn, bro, went by quick, huh?
That did go by quick.
I have a couple more questions if you're cool with that.
Go for it.
What was I gonna ask you? Oh shit! And see, this is what happens all the time. I want to ask you, what do you think about I asked Chop It Up Israel, shout out to you, bro, this question of what he thought about the barber shop industry around here, right? I was making fun of myself yesterday because in the interview with him, he's a barber, and I kept saying to him, oh, did you go to barbershop school? When it's barber school, And I was like, I sound like a fucking idiot. So I want to make sure I get it right. Do you think he said that in the industry he is very dog on dog, right? Like, I'm better than you. This barbershop is better than this barbershop. Do you think that's the same type of mindset with these real estate brokerages around here? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, the different brokerages.
Yeah, where they're like, we're not going to mention any names, but let's say the blue team and there's the fucking white team, to not make it political. The blue team is like, I'm better than you because I made this much sales. And then the white team is like, no, I'm better than you because I made this much sales. And then the fucking orange team comes out of nowhere and like, I'm the new, sensation around town.
Yeah, I'm the top dog.
Yeah. Is there that type of competition around here, or is it more of like an inviting community where everyone's trying to help each other?
I feel like real estate is very inviting. We encourage everyone to obviously buy and sell, and people who want to become an agent to take the classes and just to come join us and to experience what it's all about. It's challenging, but it's rewarding, and it's very exciting. I do know that there is a little bit of competition with teams in the brokerages. Which team can come out first at the end of the week,
inside the
inside the brokerage. So if you got Team A and Team B fighting for the top spot in brokerage A, and then there's competition like that.
Which I assume it can be like kind of friendly competition.
It's totally friendly. It's a friendly competition. There's no like hard foul play or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like nah.
Yeah, it's just it's a friendly competition,
Nice.
and
that's always good. In my opinion, I think that's always good because it keeps you on your game. It keeps you on top of your game.
Oh yeah.
On your toes. Like, oh, okay, this person, something's working out for them, so now I gotta switch my game plan a little bit.
I love the environment with real estate. I love the agents that I've met, the teams that I've met. I've had every respect for every agent at Keller Williams that I've associated with. No hard feelings there. And I love the team that I'm with right now and those people who I've met. And so everyone's just it's a family.
Yeah.
It's a good culture. I
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
That's badass. What makes a good brokerage?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
A good brokerage. You know what makes a good successful brokerages is having successful agents, good agents.
Can you
Agents,
name like top 3 around town?
agents or brokerages?
Brokerages. Is that like what the fuck is the legal term for it?
Yeah,
Oh no, but you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Well, I've only been with. Well, technically, I've only been with one, and I barely just started with my second one. So I mean, I haven't even seen any
Yeah.
other. I feel like I got to be in there to know what it's like.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna have to not comment on that
there
one.
you go. Hey guys.
But,
Maybe next time if we have a part 2, maybe then after you had a couple experiences, you can.
Yeah. Let's do
I
it,
don't know.
yeah.
I don't want to get you in trouble because I had this lady. I'll tell you why. Oh fuck. Damn it. Whatever. I had this lady tell me that she looked into a bunch of brokerages and then based off her research, she chose the one she's at with right now.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting to me how.
It could be research, or I feel like it just go in there and experience it for yourself.
I think it's a vibe, you get the vibe.
Yeah.
If it's like
absolutely.
home. Oh, hell yeah.
I do know that every brokerage out there has a good, they have a good vision. They have a good mindset.
Yeah.
They wanna help people. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So there is no bad brokerage. There's no bad teams. Everyone's just, they're doing them. It's just these small businessmen and women who are wanting to, leave a reputation, leave a legacy, find a place in the world, provide for their family. And that's what's important to us as agents. Important to me as well. So that's what it's about.
I agree. I think that's a good one. Where do you want to get in life with real estate?
So
Tell me the steps, 5-year steps.
Step by step, just wing it.
Just-
As of right now, I just want to start, just selling, get more years behind my belt, more experience, and being with this team, really good team that I feel like they're a really good team.
It looks bad. Their office looks badass. I kind of want it for a studio.
It's a cool office. I like it. Yeah.
That's sick.
I know that they'll be able to help me to, I'll be a sponge and I'll be able to absorb all the information.
And you're
I need
young,
to.
dude.
Yeah.
You're super young. I mean, I'm sure we're the same age. It's like I'm older than you. But yeah, you're young, and so you learn a lot.
Yeah. The plan from there is just to sell as much as I can, being my own person, be who I want to be, and then get a broker's license to have my own team, have my own brokerage like KW or EXP or whatever that is. And then to also, I think the big thing that not a lot of people are aware of is investing in real estate. That's where the money is.
Dude, let me tell you about it.
That's
I know.
where the money is.
How do you get into real estate investing?
That's a good question. I haven't even started doing anything with that, to be quite fair. Hopefully this year I'll be able to, the plan that me and my hopefully soon to be future fiance.
Jesus. What?
We're wanting to.
You want me to cut that part out, bro, just in case? Yeah, I'm just playing.
She knows it's coming. She
Hell
just doesn't
yeah.
know when. But our plan is to buy fourplexes and just to, I feel like that right there is a good start in investing.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's so many other reasons or other ways to invest in real estate that I'm just not sure of yet because I haven't
Dove
been in
into
that
it.
part. But the team that I'm with, I know a lot of people there who
are into
that I'm willing to learn from them. But that's the goal. That's the long term. It's just to invest, own properties, own land, just have a stable income for me,
future wife,
future wife, the family, and financially free.
hell yeah,
travel, all that good stuff.
Kids.
Yeah.
Kids.
Kids.
You have a question for him?
I do not.
Cool. We'll close out with this question.
Okay.
Shit. Dude, I have a lot of questions. Time, dude. Fucking time. It's always, I wish we had like 3-hour podcasts sometimes. With the market right now, that we're going to be talking about Idaho Falls, we see a lot of these apartments being built around town.
Yeah. Yep.
Bunch of apartments everywhere. For a real estate agent who sells homes, right? Does it worry you that there's so many apartments being built and it's heading towards a direction where we're kind of stacking,
Yeah.
Because there's not much land, right? So now we're seeing 3-story buildings. Soon enough, we'll see 4-story buildings of apartments. Does that worry you that the homes are being built, they're not to the magnitude of the apartments being built?
Right. That's a good question. To answer that, I feel like you can use these complexes being built all around us to your advantage. And that goes back to what I said about investing. Buying those complexes, and you can make really good income with those complexes, whether you just buy one. Agents can do that. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
And that's what as agents can do. It doesn't really worry us. People are still buying. People are still selling. And the other thing is, with Idaho Falls, how huge, it is growing.
Dude, it's insane.
And expanding, and people moving from out of, California, Texas, Florida, wherever it is, to here. We're just growing. We're expanding. And obviously the complexes are being built to try to provide for the residential needs, things like that. But we're still finding ways. There's still these, there's still people out there looking to get into a little home, or their new, a new build. Not so much. It worries us, or worries me in general, because I feel like if I see something like that, I'm like, oh shit, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Be like, no, let me figure out how I can get my foot in the door with that, how I can use that to my advantage.
Yeah.
By using that to provide, that income for me, investing in that.
Yeah.
So I feel like any challenge or anything that you look at to where you're like, oh crap, that looks like it's gonna, screw me or put me out of business or something, just approach them. Use it as an advantage. Yeah. Your advantage. That's really how it is.
Yep. For those young kids that want to go into real estate, dude, what's your advice to them? And what do you want to tell them?
Really simple. Don't be scared. Just do the work. It may be hard. You're going to have mornings where you do not want to get out of bed. Mm-hmm. You're going to have days where you want to cut the day short. You don't want to make the extra call. You don't want to text, nothing. Just do it. Yeah. It'll be so rewarding. And in the end, it'll show, I've experienced a lot of different characteristics that I never had, or a personality that I never had. And it changed the person who I am.
100%.
And the world that we live in, the people around us. So for anyone who's thinking about what their career choice should be, or not sure about it, try real estate. Yeah. Look into it, because it's a life changer. Yeah. It's a blessing, really. It is. And at the end of the day, just do the work, do the studying, make the call, go out and just meet everyone.
Hell yeah. Build that contact list.
Absolutely. And don't be scared. Just find what it is deep down in your heart that you want to do and do it. I feel like a lot of people, like back in our earlier of this hour, we were talking about being a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Be who you are. Don't let people's people's opinion become your reality. Is really what it is. Be your own person. Be your own self.
And keep that to yourself.
Absolutely.
Hold high. I mean, your head high. Because, you can for sure, dive into the fucking deep waters of depression. If you're someone who's not you,
Mm-hmm.
and then if you let the comments, opinions of other people affect you on top of that.
Yeah,
it's hard.
That's a huge thing, is seeing just a lot of depression these days, especially this year. This year definitely was not, it started off rocky for me.
Yeah.
But find ways around it.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. And I'm super glad you came, dude. I'm happy that you reached out, because every once in a while, dude, I'm that one friend, bro, that thinks about friends but doesn't reach out to friends.
Yeah.
And I need to change that, because I'm terrible at that, dude. But I'm really glad you reached out, because we met. We went to dinner one time, bro. Remember that with Bradley?
We did. I think we went to Applebee's.
Yeah, one time where I got the shitty ass pasta, terrible. It was dry, terrible. And then after that, it was just kind of like we'd see each other, say hi, but we never really got to click, right? We never really got to hang out past that. And last thing I knew about you, you were in Pocatello.
Mm-hmm.
Then you came back, and that was kind of it.
Yep.
So when you reached out, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to bring him on, because I really am interested in what he's doing, and I really want to know how he's doing more than anything.
Yeah.
So for me to know that, it was a rocky year, started off a little rocky. Now we're here where you're like, to me, it seems like you have this light in you of just wanting to conquer your own dream. Mm-hmm. And you have that persistence behind it of, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to listen to Les Brown if I need to, but I'm going to get up and do the work, even if this is going on, that's going on, And I think that's important, because it happens to anyone. It happens to everyone. Matter of fact, dude, it happens to any industry you're in. Mm-hmm. With this podcast, it can happen. I mean, there's been days where I'm like, I don't want to record. And then I'm like, there's people listening. There's people watching.
There's people who want to hear.
Who I want to, dude. And it's the craziest thing when you get a fucking DM. And I'm sure you get this feeling too, where you get that one person, that client that says, thank you. Listening to your podcast helped me. Or for you, hey, thank you for closing this deal for me, or thank you for doing the work you do. Even if the deal doesn't go through. That,
at the end of the day, is what make what we do worth it.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing that I'm just gonna leave off is, your motivation. Find what motivates you. For me, it's me thinking about my future family, or a picture of me and my girlfriend. That's the motivation. That's who you don't want to let down at the end of the day. So just find your motivation.
Hell yeah. Brother, where can we find you on social media? What's your social media ads?
So Facebook is just Jayden Yorgesen, Yorgesen, first name Jayden. In the process of changing some old ass profile pictures and stuff like that.
I stalked you, dude, long time ago. I stalked your Instagram, bro, and I saw this picture of you, and you're like at like this model like type of pose, and I was like, this guy, look at him, fucking being a model out here and shit.
And then Instagram is Papa Yorgi.
There we go.
I was gonna start as a fitness page, but I think I'm just gonna use it as a real estate page.
And you would keep the same at Papa Yorgi.
I think I'm gonna keep that.
Yeah,
I think it will.
That's good marketing, bro. Papa.
So yeah.
There we go. Go check them out, guys. Remember to check us out at the OAP official, Brandon and Laura, and then Jackie with 3 A's, CKIE_. Thank you guys for tuning, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro, for coming.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Fucking weird. Oh, it's hot. Oh, that was fun, bro.
That was good.
That was good, right?
That was.
Going by quick, dude.
You got a